Traveling, it's actually what I'm doing right now. I'm in Australia, and it can be a great experience. But however, people tend to spend a lot of money while doing it, and most of the ways they spend a lot of money while traveling is by booking expensive hotels and paying a lot of money for flights and eating out all the time. Airfare, lodging, and food are the three biggest expenses, in my opinion, that you can incur while traveling. And saving money while traveling is actually really easy, but here's how to do it. So, airfare, lodging, and food, you have the three main expenses there. Um, Most people don't know as far as, all right, so we'll start with lodging. So most people don't know about this, but you can stay at people's houses for very cheap by booking Airbnbs, which are basically apartments or houses or rooms in houses that are for rent. And you stay in these places and you pay a fraction of the cost of what your average hotel would be. Quick story on that. One time I was on a plane leaving Vegas where I live, and this man started telling me about all how he lost all this money in Las Vegas and with gambling. And he said but he didn't lose as much money um, on gambling as he did in hotels. And so I was like, how much did you spend? And he goes, well, in 3 days I spent $1,200. It's $400 a night in hotel fees, which is insane. So I told him, I was like, well, there's things called hostels, which is another option you could take. Um, where basically you just stay in a shared room with bunk beds with other travelers, and you pay a fraction of the cost, maybe 20 or $30 a night, depending on where you are um, in the world. So the other biggest expense that people spend people incur while traveling is airfare. And airfare is kind of a tough one. Sometimes you really can't avoid those costs too much. You're just gonna have to pay them sometimes. But the biggest mess up that people make while traveling is by traveling during the peak tourist seasons. So, for example, if I want to go to Europe and I'm the only time I have is in the summer. So for May to August, I should be expecting to pay a lot of money on airfare and hotels by traveling during that peak travel season because everybody has a summer off, or at least in North America and Europe, to travel throughout Europe when the weather's great and you can do more things outside. There's more sunlight, et cetera, et cetera. So airfare and lodging both tie into traveling during the peak traveling season. One way you can circumnavigate that is by traveling during the off season, and another way you can circumnavigate that is by using airfare calculators, such as one I know off the top of my head is Hopper, which uses some sort of algorithms, and they essentially just figure out when's the best time to travel, when to book your tickets, what day to fly, and how long you should be gone for. And I use that personally all the time when I travel. And food is another the last topic I'm going to cover on. Food mostly ties into lodging as well. Most people when they get a hotel or when they're traveling, they just don't feel like cooking, which is fine. I guess it's personal preference, but for me personally, if I'm going to stay in a place for a really long time, more than a week, one of the first things I do is I go to a place that a supermarket, and I buy what I don't want to be spending money on throughout the trip, whether it's alcohol or little snacks here and there. Water is a big one, things of that nature. So yeah, definitely don't get a hotel. Well, definitely don't get a hotel. In conclusion, try to look into cheaper options such as hostels. And another cheaper option you can look into is couch surfing, where you try to find people's couches that you can stay on for free, and that'll knock out the lodging expense right there off the rip. Um, another and another option you can use is by traveling during off seasons. However, the weather might not be in your favor, or there might not be any. The tourist things might not be so open, and yeah, just be your own travel agent. And traveling doesn't need to be expensive. Using these tips will definitely save you a great deal of money while traveling overseas. Thank you.